Welcome back to the Comp Club podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Sarah, and today we are lucky enough to be joined by a very impressive athlete. She's an FMG Bikini Athletic Pro and a coach, Rachel Potamidis. Welcome.
Hi.
Did I say your last name right?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, everyone says it wrong, but you actually said it right.
Oh, amazing. So good.
Yeah.
I was just like thinking that as I went to say it, I was like, I should have double checked, but I'm
Yeah.
glad I got that right. That's a good start. So people often see your discipline and structure online, but what's something that doesn't often get shown?
Probably my 100 mental breakdowns that I have a day. I'm a very anxious person. So I'm very go, 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 go. And then I get to a point where I'm like, oh my God, like this is too much. I'm so overwhelmed. But I still just try and put on a happy face and get through. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes so much sense. Is there something that kind of like helps you to slow down, or you feel like you're just kind of driven by that go at this point?
At the moment, it has to be go, 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 go. But obviously, when I'm not in prep and stuff like that, like I do take a step back. Like I'm lucky enough that I have like my family, my boyfriend, and everyone to like chill me out. Or otherwise, I'm just like, and then I'll just crash.
Yes, so it's the people around you that ground you.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, amazing. And what made you want to compete in the first place?
So I started competing in 2020, I think it was. Yeah. I went through actually no, 2021. I actually can't
Wow.
remember when I first started competing. That's really bad. I started competing because I went through something pretty traumatic. And like mentally I was just down in the dump. Like I was just really depressed, everything else. And then I just needed something to look forward to. Like I needed something to keep my mind off it. So yeah, that's why I started competing. I went up to my coach at the gym and I was like, I want to compete. And he's like, okay, let's do it. And I was like, sweet, when can I start? But yeah, that's pretty much how it all started.
Yeah, wow. And so you were already training in the gym and had a coach at that point?
No, I actually didn't have a coach. I was always training since I was like 16. I'm turning 30 this year. I would train off and on, off and on. And then 2019, when I was much younger and I was just going out every weekend, partying, everything. There was a guy at the gym. His name's Mario. I call him my dadager now. So he comes to all my shows, everything. I ordered like $50 worth of Nando's to the gym. And he was like, you're not going to eat all that. And I'm like, I absolutely will. Just watch. I ate it. And he was like, all right, now you're going to train with me. And I was like, oh, no. Like, I'm going home. And he's like, no, you're going to train with me. And then, so since 2019, I've pretty much trained, I'd say 5 out of the 7 days a week, every week since then. So I've been that consistent purely because like Mario would make sure I would get to the gym after work before I was doing coaching on the weekends. So I didn't go out and I didn't party. He would make sure that I'm at the gym at 8 a.m. in the morning on a Saturday and Sunday and everything else. So I really owe a lot to him. But yeah.
That is so cool. He sounds like a really, really special person and something that, would really help on your journey, just having that accountability from the early days.
100%. He's honestly, I call him my dadager, like my Kris Jenner. And now he's like a part of my family. So my parents are close with him. My brother-in-law's parents are close with him. He's like friends with everyone in my family. It's so cute.
So good. And so when you decided that it was time to compete and, you talked to a coach, did you kind of ease into it or were you straight into a prep from there?
No, I just went straight into prep.
Yeah. And how long was that first prep?
I'd say March, April till September. So I competed in A and B first. So
Yeah.
I did A and B. I won my pro card in my first show in A and B. Then a month later, I did the pro show. I came 5th in the pro show in Australia. And then I had like a major identity crisis because I was like, I'm so used to being in prep. Like, what do I do now? Gave myself like 2 months and I was like to my coach, I want to compete again. Like, what can we do? And he's like, all right, let's do IFBB in April. So then the following year I did April. Then my grandmother passed away a week later after my show. So then I took the year off competing, and then it started last year. I was like to my coach, I'm going to compete. And he's like, I thought you said you were done. And I was like, no, let's do it. So then, yeah, I started. So last year I started prep in January, and I did the October show, which was, I can't even remember the date, but I did the October show, and then I did the Bali show, which is where I won my pro card in FMG.
Wow, that is a massive journey with competing. What made you change your mind and do FMG compared to the other federations?
It was purely based on the fact that FMG came out with bikini athletic.
Yes, I feel like that suits your physique
Yeah.
so well. How did it feel when you went pro in bikini athletic?
I was a little bit like, this isn't real kind of thing. It was really like, because I worked so hard. So last year, I actually had a stroke during prep.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
I had a migraine for like 8 days, and I don't get headaches. I don't get migraines. It was just like this random thing. And then after, it was the weekend, I was having dinner with my brother, and my fork dropped. My arm like went all numb, tingly and everything, and then my face just like warped to one side. And my brother was like, that doesn't look right. And I was like, oh, doesn't feel right. So then, yeah, got rushed to hospital, couldn't train for like 3 weeks, nearly a month. I couldn't train. And then luckily after 10 weeks, my face started coming back to normal and stuff like that, like still on stage, especially at the Queensland show, all the lights and everything. Like I could feel my eye starting to twitch and like flicker and everything. It was really scary. But winning my pro card after going through that, it didn't feel real. It I don't know how to explain it. It was such a surreal moment. I had worked so hard for it. So it meant so much more than anything else. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Was there a moment during that prep and when you're in hospital that you questioned whether you would be able to keep going?
110%. I was like, I can't do this. Like, if I can't see out of my right eye, like, what am I going to do? And then when it was all happening, I still was like, nah, you know what? I'm doing this. Because normally, like, coming from the background that I've got, I used to battle, well, I still do, with depression and anxiety. And if this happened to me like 4 years ago, I would have been like, nah. And I would have just isolated myself in my room and everything else. Like I rocked up to work 3 days later to train
Wow.
clients. I mean, I was walking around the gym with an eye patch. I had to tape my eye closed and everything because it just would not close. Yeah. So I was just like, nah, I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I rocked up to my posing lesson with my posing coach, Tash. I rocked up to that lesson and she was like, can you see? And I was like, no, I'm like, but I'm doing it. So it was hard, but at the same time, so much more rewarding than anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And what do you think helped you to kind of stay grounded and keep going when something so big didn't go to plan?
I think it was just my drive to like prove to myself that I can do it. Like I could have easily turned around and be like, no, like I'm not doing this prep. But obviously I've got my own clients. I've got a niece and a nephew. I've got like all my family and friends and everyone. Like I wanted to prove to them as well as prove to myself that I actually can do anything that I set my mind to. So yeah.
Yes, I love that. And if someone else listening to this is going through a rough patch in prep or even post show, what would you say to them?
Just keep going. Like bad days don't last forever. It might feel like it's the end of the world right now and you're going through it and you just want to quit and everything else, but it's so much more rewarding if you just keep going. Like there's actually no better feeling.
Yes, that is so powerful. And have you always had a good relationship with your body, or has this been a bit of a process?
I wouldn't say that I had a bad relationship with my body. Obviously, everyone has things that they pick on about themselves and stuff like that. But I wouldn't say that I had like binge eating or anorexia or anything like that. I would just be I used to talk harshly to myself in the mirror and stuff like that. But now, as I'm getting older and I'm actually like becoming more aware of my thoughts and how deep my thoughts run, um, I'm just like really chill now. I just look at myself and I laugh. If I start to have a negative thought about myself, I laugh and be like, "You're an idiot," and I just walk away from the mirror.
Yes, so good. I love that kind of lighthearted approach to it. I think that honestly works so well, especially, reverse dieting and going into a build phase as well. Like sometimes you
Yeah.
just like you have those moments and you think to yourself, I'm being so silly.
Literally, but the weight can come off. If you
Yeah.
really if it really gets that bad, the weight can come off. You just need to be willing to take the weight off, like to do the work to take the weight off. I remember after the Bali show, on my way from my villa to the airport, I ate at like 9 different cafes, 9 different places on the way to the airport. I ate my way back to the airport. I had that acid reflux that I had to literally all I could eat on the plane were like those, I don't know what they're called in Bali, but they're like tablets, like quickies. I
Mhm.
literally was just eating them because I genuinely could not even swallow without feeling like I was going to vomit. That's how much I just was just like, yay, food, eat, 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 eat.
Wow.
What obviously when I got home, your body obviously changes. It's not going to look like it did before stage or anything like that. So when I got home, I just got back to work, was eating properly, like drinking water. I wasn't drinking water. Like obviously I was drinking water in Bali, but not as much as I would as I'm back home. And then just doing the work, really.
Yeah, 100%. I think you're, one of the most consistent athletes out there. Is there something that has helped you to maintain that consistency without losing the joy of the process in the sport?
I wouldn't say I've always had the joy and everything else. Like my consistency is one thing that I'm very proud of because I always show up for myself. Because if I'm not going to show up for myself, why would anyone else? Sort of thing. With the joy, there was a stage after the show, and it happens every single time I compete. I lose all motivation to train and anything else, and I'm just like, whatever, I can't bothered. I'll go in, I'll do a couple of sets, and then I'll leave. But if you're actually deep within, you have your why and you know that it's going to benefit you in the long run, a couple of weeks off the gym isn't going to kill you. It's not going to kill your progress. It's not going to do anything. And I say it to my clients all the time. If you need a rest day, rest. You don't need deload weeks or anything like that. Just rest. Nothing is going to change. You're not going to put on 7 kilos of fat in 3 weeks if you're not at the gym every day. Does that make sense?
Yes,
So
that makes so much sense.
I'm consistent enough that I've worked hard enough, consistent and worked hard enough in the sense that I always look consistent, whereas sometimes I can back off and my hard work still shows for itself. Does that make sense? Is that right?
Yes,
I
absolutely. Did
help
you
me know.
struggle at the start to allow yourself to step back and have those rest days?
Yes and no. Maybe like when I was younger, I felt like you need to do more. You need to be at the gym every day. You need to do this. You need to do that. But as I've gotten older, like especially within the last year, I don't, I don't think so. Like even now, going into shows, my training went from 6 days a week to 5 days a week to now 4 days a week. So it's just really, I don't know.
It's an important part of it, right? I think like once you start seeing the benefits of that rest come through and you see how much progress you can actually make when you're training 4 days a week and training properly and training hard and like doing all the other things outside of the gym, it's quite refreshing and it's quite reassuring that you can actually take those rest days and you're actually
Oh,
going to probably make more progress.
110%. Like I see it all the time with my clients. They're like, I need to do this, this, and this. I need a 6 day a week training program. I need the, and I'm like, whoa, let's just chill. Let's just breathe. Let's just bring it back a notch, because less is more. Like, more is not always more. So it's one thing that I always try and tell my clients, like, it's okay to just take a step back, because you'll actually realize your body will respond better in the sense.
Yes, and what are your non-negotiables even when you're super busy?
Well, I journal every morning. So I do that every morning. I wake up at 3:20 every morning. I journal, and then I get up, start my like getting ready for the day. Um when I'm in when I'm not in prep, 2 to 3 liters of water a day, non-negotiable. Doesn't matter if it's like pissing down rain outside. Super sunny, minimum 2 to 3 liters of water. And that's pretty much it, really. Like, I try and just be as chill as possible. Like, I'm not one of those people that has to hit 10K steps a day, has to, like, if I don't feel like eating, I'm not going to force myself to eat when I'm not in prep. So I'll make sure that I'm hitting my targets, but also at the same time, I'm not going to sit there and be like, I need to eat this food. I'm going to force the food down if I'm not hungry.
Yeah, and how does that mindset change, like, in your off season versus in a prep?
It's very different. Like, in prep, everything needs to be crossed, dotted, everything. Like, there's not a day where I won't hit what I need to hit and do what I need to do. Um, but then when I'm not in prep and it's like off season, I'm very chill. Like, I'll eat out breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or I'll not go to the gym if I don't feel like going to the gym. Do you know what I mean? Like, when I'm in prep, obviously I need to get shit done. I have something, I'm working towards something, I need to get this done. Whereas when I'm not in prep, I'm like, I want to eat out with my boyfriend. I want to eat out with my family. I don't want to be that person where I'm like, I can't eat a meal off plan, because then my results aren't going to show. And it's something I always tell my clients as well. Like, you're not a robot. You need to actually, live your life. So, yeah.
Yes, absolutely, and do you struggle at all to find that balance between, like, having meals out, but then also, consistently making progress?
Um, Not really. I feel like over the years, I've really focused on making sure that I'm doing what makes me happy. So at the end of the day, if I don't know, like, I can't word it. If eating out for breakfast, lunch, and dinner is going to make me happy, then I don't really care what it does for anyone else, or if it's going to, just say hypothetically, ruin my chance to start prep the week later. Like, I really just do what makes me happy, and that's it, really. Like, I think I've been through enough in my personal life where if I'm not doing that, then I'm just going to decrease, like, my mental health will just go down. And I don't want that.
Yeah, absolutely. You clearly have your priorities straight for, what makes you happy and what needs to be priority. And like,
Yeah,
the stage will always be there as well. If there's
exactly.
something that you can't do or you don't want to do to get to a certain stage, like there's gonna be more shows. There always is.
110%. Like, I feel like people think that, like, the stage is everything. And yes, it obviously might be for some people, and that's completely fine. But I'm human. I don't want to live out of a container every day. Do you know what I mean? Especially over the summer period. Like, I want to go out. I want to, like, enjoy time with my friends and stuff like that. When I'm not in prep, I don't need to be as 100% strict, but that's also coming from someone who's done the work previously, where I don't need to constantly be tracking macros, constantly be doing steps and cardio and everything else. In my off season, I don't do cardio. It's very rare that you will see like, anyone will see me on a cross trainer or on a treadmill, because it, like, I save it for prep. So when I'm on, I'm on, and when I'm off, I'm enjoying my life.
Yeah, I love that. And now that you're coaching others as well, has that changed the way that you approach your own prep at all?
Um, Not really. I feel like I'm very, what you see is what you get. So I'm just, obviously, when, like, my clients have goals and stuff like that, like, they have like I don't know, it's their birthday or a wedding or anything that they're looking forward to. Obviously, I'm a little bit stricter on them like I would be on myself. And I sit them down and I say to them, like, I don't sugarcoat anything, especially with my clients. If they don't like it, then I say to them, boo hoo. Because at the end of the day, you're hiring me to help you get you, hiring me to help you get to where you want to.
Tongue
So
twister.
I'm very like straightforward. If I hurt your feelings, then so be it. And they all know that, like, once you get to know me, I mean well. Like, I have a heart of gold. I would do anything for anyone. And I push people because I know what they're capable of. Just like how my coach does it to me. He knows what I'm capable of. So he just pushes, 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 pushes until I get to where we need to be. So, like, really, it's
Yes.
the only.
And what's something that you think your clients need to hear the most, even if they don't always want to?
Oh, that's a good question. Probably if you're not going to do the work, then don't expect the results. Like,
Yes.
I've got clients that are like, "Oh, I don't look like this and I want this and rah rah rah." And I'm like, "But you're not doing everything that you need to do for you to get there." So you can't actually be that serious about your goal. And then once we have that conversation, it's like a flick switches in their brain and they're like, "All right, you're right. Like, let's go." And then we get there. So I feel like, yeah, that's probably the one thing.
Yes, I think that's something with competitors as well. Like sometimes you see people compete and then they are disappointed that they haven't got the results that they wanted, but maybe they weren't putting, everything into their prep. Like if you put everything into your prep and you know 100% you've done everything that you can, and then you step on stage and you don't get the results, like you're going to be at peace with whatever placing you come, even if you don't place, because at the end of the day, it is a sport that gets judged with humans who are judging it. So, it's not always going to be go your way. It could be subjective, or you could just not be the best there on the day because, all these other girls showed up and they're better than you at the stage that you're at now. But if
Yeah,
you know that you put 100% into that prep, like you're going to be okay with how it went. I think it's that
110%.
honesty with yourself, right?
110%. When if you're doing a prep and you get on stage and you are 100% happy with how you look, then and you know that you have given your absolute all, you can't really, like, that's all there is to it, really. Like,
Yeah,
there's
absolutely.
nothing else that you shouldn't be really getting on stage to just, like, what am I trying to say? You shouldn't be getting on stage purely just to win. Like, if you
Yeah.
can't fall in love with the process of getting yourself to stage, then you're competing for the wrong reasons, I feel.
Yeah, so, so true. You really do have to love that process because, it's weeks, if not months, if not years of preparing for the stage. If you only like the actual show day itself and not the process, then it probably isn't worth it because it is such an incredible process and you get so much growth outside of just the physique as well, right?
110%. I actually, if I'm honest, I prefer the grind getting to stage than actually being on stage.
Me too.
Like, I love the grind, like waking up at 3:20 every morning so I'm at the gym at 4:30 so I can get my cardio in and like, I love that. Whereas being on stage, I'm like, "Oh, I don't wanna be here." Although
Yes,
I'm
I'm
trying.
actually the same. It's the process that's, like, so, so enjoyable, and then, show day's exciting, but it is a little bit terrifying as well, and it is just that one part of it compared to the entire process.
110%. I could not agree with you more.
So you mentioned, obviously, you're getting up early and you're prepping at the moment. What are you working towards now, if you don't mind sharing?
I am doing my pro debut at
Exciting.
Worlds, so
Oh my
that will
god.
be fun.
That
Very
is
exciting.
so exciting.
But yeah, no, yeah.
So how many weeks out are you right now, like, while we're recording this?
I'm pretty sure it is 17 days out or 16 days out.
Wow, time is flying, right?
Wild. It's actually wild. I actually didn't think that I was gonna compete this year.
Really?
Yeah, so I was like, I just want a year break. Like, I had spent 12 months in prep last year. for the October show and then the Bali show. And I'm like, I just need a break. Like, I don't know if I want to do it and stuff like that. And then I had mentioned it to one person, and then it was just a domino effect. And then everyone's like, oh, Rachel's competing. Oh, Rachel's doing this. Rachel's doing that. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I guess I'm doing it. So, yeah, that's how this started. And then, yeah, I was just like, you know what? May as well. Why not? It's in Australia. So,
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. And how are you feeling now? Like, how's prep gone? Tell me all of it.
um, prep's actually good. I like, I know this is going to be so, is the word controversial?
Hmm.
Yeah, this is
Big.
gonna be very controversial, but I don't look at prep as something that's hard. Obviously, you're gonna have your hard days and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, you're choosing to do it. So if your mindset isn't strong enough for you to be like, "I'm enjoying this process," then maybe competing isn't for them. Does that make sense? Like, I'm very chill. I've maybe had 2 meltdowns to my boyfriend, and that's only now getting into show because I'm obviously depleting and stuff like that, so it's obviously getting a little bit more full on, but other than that, prep's been great. I've loved it. So, yeah, I feel good. I'm very like, my body's always like, my legs is always the last to come in, so it's always a little bit stressful, like the last month, but my coach obviously knows my body, knows what he's doing. So, yeah, I feel great.
I think that's the key part, right? It's just saying that, okay, my coach knows me, my coach knows what they're doing. I'm just going to trust the process and trust that, the legs will come in or whatever that thing is that you're concerned about in your head. Just trusting that your coach has got it under control. And then as long as you're following that plan, like that's really all there is to it.
110%. Like, there's not a day that goes by where I'm like questioning if my coach has my best interests at heart or anything like that. Like, I love my coaches. They're honestly pretty much family to me now. This is going to be our 6th show together.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I just feel like a lot of people put so much pressure onto prep. Like, it needs to be enjoyable. Like, I don't understand people that are like constantly miserable in prep, and they, like, you chose to do it. You don't get to be miserable about it and mope around and stuff like that. Like, I think the only thing that I really complain about is I'm not even hungry. It's purely the fact that I'm freezing cold in Melbourne, like freezing cold. I
Yeah.
cannot explain to you how cold it is in Melbourne when you are less than 6% body fat.
Oh
It's
my gosh. Yeah.
beyond.
That's definitely one of the tough parts of prep. And I'm actually in New Zealand right now, and I feel for the girls who are coming over for the New Zealand show this weekend, like coming from, Brisbane and the Gold Coast and warmer
Yeah.
places. Like it's going to be so cold with low body fat.
Yeah, no, it's honestly, I don't wish it upon anyone. I go to
Yeah.
bed, I've been going to bed at night, socks, trackies, jumper, with underneath a doona and heater on,
Wow.
and I don't even
Have you
break sweat.
found have you found any hacks that work to actually warm yourself up, or you're just putting on all the layers?
I'm just putting on layers at this point. I really
Yeah.
wish, like, if I do obviously my fasted cardio, that warms me up in the morning, but then after my body cools down, I'm like, "It's an igloo again. This is great."
Yeah, it can be hard. I know, like, when I'm on prep, I just have tea, like peppermint tea or licorice tea just all day,
Mm.
and I'm, like, just holding onto the mug, trying to warm up your hands and trying to kind of warm up from the inside, but I think that's definitely something, that feeling of just being cold all the time is something that's really hard on prep and something that not a lot of people actually talk about.
Yeah, it's probably the only thing that really gets to me in prep,
Yeah.
being cold. Like, I hate being cold.
Yeah, well, hopefully, when you go to Worlds, it'll be a bit warmer on the Gold Coast for you than it is in Melbourne.
It's warm.
How would you say your definition of success has evolved throughout your journey?
Um, I think success, like when I was younger and obviously when I first started competing, it was more like the more medals you win, the more like your self-worth, and that's how successful you are and stuff like that. Like, now I literally compete because it's a hobby. I don't compete because it's my whole life. Um, and I think I look at success now in the sense that I'm actually genuinely happy. I'm happy within myself. I'm happy with what I see in the mirror. I very rarely talk negative about myself or anything like that. So to me, that's more successful than anything else. So like I said, like when I was younger, when I first started competing, it was all about the wins and the pro cards and everything else. But it's just purely me being happy with what I've done and what I've got.
Yes, I think that it's so, so powerful. Definitely something that a lot of competitors should work on and learn from. So yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that. And final question, if you weren't competing, what would you still hold on to from this journey?
Probably like obviously the way that I talk to myself now and how like what's the word that I'm looking for? My resilience in like being like I actually after my Bali show. No, was it? I can't remember, but last year after what happened, I actually got yeah, it was after my Bali show. I got a tattoo here of a flower with this in the stem. It says resilience to like prove to myself that like how resilient I actually am when I want something, I go and get it. Um Well, yeah, that's pretty much it would just purely be I don't know.
I think that resilience is a massive, massive thing that you learn and like develop through this journey and almost just like, yeah, like you said, prove to yourself that you actually do have the resilience to do these big things. And I think, especially when like, you go through something tough, like yourself being in hospital and doing all of that on prep, like that just proves your resilience that you can come out the other side of something like that and then step on stage and win your pro card. So you obviously, put in the work during that prep despite such a big obstacle.
Yeah, 100%, 110%. And I also think like just being the way that I am, being the athlete that I am, being the coach that I am, I all owe it to that. Like my resilience in especially last year alone. Like it really obviously tested me and I will never not be a resilient little butterfly.
Yes, I love that so much. So, where can people find you online to follow your journey or get in touch to work with you?
So my Instagram for business is transform yourself, but TRNSFRM yourself. And the coaching link is in my bio.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being so open about your journey and sharing your tips and, all doing all of this only a few weeks out from a show as well. I know it's hard sometimes to, hold a conversation and stay focused and all that at the end of prep. And you honestly just speak incredibly. So thank you so, so much for your time.
Thank you.
And thank you so much to our listeners as well. If you could rate this podcast and follow it on whatever platform you are listening to it on. Also, share your stories and tag Rachel and the Comp Closet. We really love to see what you're doing when you listen to the episode or what you learned from it. It really does help us to grow as well and get more incredible guests on like Rachel. Thanks so much.
Bye.